Mic check 1 2. Is this thing on? Hello. On today's episode, Talk of the Trades, we're talking about a bunch of stuff.
Check.
American Express. Alrighty, everybody. Welcome to the podcast, Talk of the Trades, where we talk about all things marketing in the trades.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom. All right, Aaron. What do we got on the agenda this week? Looks like we're gonna talk about Google reviews debacle that was happening. That caused quite a stir. Talk a little bit about our Yelp trip that we had, and then a little diversity update on GBP, and then talk about just some GLS and what they got going on with this new booking calendar, eh?
Oh, yeah.
And then maybe a little bit more industry news. So let's start it off. Let's talk about the Google reviews, because that was a little spicy for a little while.
Yeah, this has happened a few times, right? Where
Has it?
yeah,
Okay.
not this specific issue to my knowledge, but yeah, our SEO team early, I think on the 13th or something along those lines, saw that Google review counts weren't correct. And shortly after in our Slack channel, as the team started saying, hey, something's going on with the Google reviews, we started getting text messages from clients. And before we even go to the issue, I think then is something we were really proud of. You know, me especially as a control freak and micromanager. We didn't have to onboard anything. Like, our team put out an email pretty quickly and explained what was going on. Really cool being an overly controlling person, probably for the last 11, 14 years, whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
39 years. Seeing that get launched, and we really appreciate the team jumping on it. But yeah, it was an algorithmic issue as far as the review counter. So reviews aren't actively being removed, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
But the counter had a malfunction.
Yeah, which I thought was interesting. I thought they pulled a whole Yelp move, not to throw any shade, but just started removing, reviews out of the blue. And then as you saw more people start investigating on the internet, they found like, oh, actually, no, none of your reviews have been removed. It's just the number has changed. So at least that was somewhat comforting. And then took a little while for them to get it all fixed. But seems like things are back in order. Yeah.
And I went, the story you tell yourself, obviously, like, I went down that whole rabbit hole because Yelp has been very strong on the reviews. And they've really stayed true to their word. And it's kind of we're not budging on this review. Even if you're getting blackmailed on a Yelp review, it is their experience. And you as a business are able to share your experience. It is your truth. And I thought back in Q3, there was a lot about how Google and Meta and a lot of the other platforms were actually going to have to revert and be more difficult or tough and strict on their reviews.
Yeah.
So I thought, holy Hannah, is this that moment? Are they starting to pull stuff down because of the FTC and what happened?
Yeah.
That wasn't it.
I don't know if I agree with the whole Yelp thing, because I'm not sure there's like rhyme or reason as to why some reviews are shown and why some aren't. Because in the clients' accounts that we manage, they have tons of like 5-star reviews that are there, but none of them are being shown because of whatever reason, and we've gone back and forth with them on them, and it's just like their policy. And so like I feel like if they were true to like letting like the people's voice be heard, they would just leave every review there, right? So I don't know, that I still don't understand like what their deal is. And then like I think we learned what October, November last year, they are going to finally let people ask for reviews, right? Because that used to be the other big thing. It's like, never ask somebody to leave you a Yelp review.
Two separate conversations. The first is actually giving the business owner control of removing reviews and actually taking down reviews from a profile page. That's where they've held hard and fast. I guess they've held hard in the other one too.
Right.
The other conversation point is the gated reviews of what's accepted and actually put on the profile.
Yeah.
And so On that one, yeah, they've got some algorithm, and they've got some internal metrics showing, based on history of a page and all that. Yeah, I agree on that. Like, show
Yeah.
all of them. If you're gonna let the experience be had, let it be had with a new user versus a non-new user. Um, so totally open to that. The gated part is really unfortunate, and it leads a lot of people to think the worst of, well, if you're not paying for ads, then they're not going to
Yeah.
show them, which I haven't seen that at all of once you start buying ads, then they show up.
Right.
But it is still something that, like, let's show the whole story. I can totally get that.
Yeah, because like honestly, I feel like it's a violation of like a freedom of speech. No, it's like you are putting, this out on this platform and then they're censoring it,
Mm-hmm.
right? Meanwhile, they're asking, Yelp is like asking you to leave reviews after the establishments aren't asking. I guess they can now, but Yelp is asking you to do
Yeah.
it just to what, censor you?
No, well, they're keeping it as a trusted user of the platform, thinking of Yelp as more of a social media tool. Like, you are a Yelp user.
Mm-hmm.
So what they're trying to cut out is fabrication of, hey, get these 20 emails, create fake users, and
Yeah.
go, because that was legitimately happening.
Hmm.
I know people who were doing that and
Hmm.
then ended up hurting the profiles because algorithmically, like, there were specific profiles that were doing that. So I think it comes back from them thinking of themselves as a social media tool. They
Gotcha.
want it to be their ecosystem, and they want the Yelpers to really, live and uh, I don't want to say drink the Kool-Aid, but yes, bathe in the Kool-Aid.
Drink that Yelp
Yeah,
delicious Kool-Aid. Well, I just know, and I know we're going to segue into Yelp here in
yeah.
a second, but just the sentiment around, Yelp and the trade specifically is not good.
Mm-mm.
We just had a call this week with one of our big exterior remodeling clients, and, they have 5 stars and, all these reviews on Google. Then you go to their Yelp, it's like a 1.9,
Mm-hmm.
rating.
Mm-hmm.
And then it doesn't help that I think Apple's,
Maps.
maps, they pull in the Yelp reviews,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so somebody sees you on Apple Maps and all they're seeing is your Yelp reviews, like, man, that's a tough one.
Mm-hmm.
So they were
Yeah.
asking us, so before we move on from this, I want to get your pro tips and thoughts on this. So they were asking us, okay, like if Yelp is not going to, show some of our better reviews, right? And we're currently sitting at a 1.9 rating with 36 reviews. How do they, in the fastest way, get that to be changed?
Mm-hmm. And I think the question itself is the issue. And so, what the right answer is, and I don't know which client this is. I can make an assumption, but this is someone we may have, told this from a long time ago. Is making Yelp a part of the common vernacular of
Mm-hmm.
just, hey, it's in the same essence of Google. It's in the same as Meta. You're not going to ask for it using Podium or whatever review tool. But leaning in and talking poorly about Yelp or avoiding Yelp to your customer base is still gonna, like, it's not gonna help you at all, right?
Right.
And so with someone like this, going back to this morning, I had a conversation with an SEO agency, and they were talking about, backlink building, and we were just talking about gray hat, some black hat, but white hat tactics of link building, right?
Right.
And one of the things that they talked about was, and we've known this for a long time since Penguin, look at the breadth of a company. If it's a company that's a brand new website, what looks like a real organic link growth in a month?
Mm.
So a company that has a website that they launched a year ago, getting 2 new backlinks a month, not going to rock the boat.
Right.
You get 8 new backlinks in a month, Google's algorithm is going to read into, okay, what the hell happened here? That's not normal.
Mm.
8 backlinks in a month could make sense to a company that's been around for 8 to 10 years,
Right.
and so there's a shift of, and what I liked about at least what we were talking about in the conversation is metering the number of backlinks to look organic, because a lot of these things are done algorithmically, not by humans. And so in the
Gotcha.
same way, a lot of these people that are frustrated with Yelp ask that question of, how can I quickly get my reviews up? Well, okay, already that question means you're doing it in an inorganic way. So you're just tripping off the sensor of, okay, there's some
But what if-
weird, shady activity going on right here.
But to that point, what if they're a $30 million shop that's like, servicing, 10 people a day?
Absolutely. And how long have they been on Yelp? And so looking at like if they've been on Yelp for 20 years or 10 years, whatever you want to say, and then all of a sudden in year 10 in month 1, they get 10x the traffic that they used to.
Yeah.
Even if Yelp says, okay, we're going to accept these, it's still like an error or an addition to the problem. And there might be other metrics there of maybe the profile history has had bad reviews over the years.
Gotcha.
Okay, so that's added on. It's like spam assassin. We don't need to get into email spam, but
Gotcha.
all those things are real and legitimate. The best way to look at it is in your market, in your city, is Yelp relevant and are they driving traffic? Because we know there are certain cities that Yelp is really
Where it doesn't
working in,
matter.
right?
Yeah.
And so, is it worth investing there? I think it's worth investing in any market at least to keep the doors open, because with AI, like we talked about in a couple of pods, what are they going to use as data aggregators? Like I wouldn't put it as a huge part of your budget if you're in a Houston, Texas, or in Michigan somewhere.
Yeah.
But it's got to be a part of the process of getting reviews, and I think they're loosening that up.
Well, considering that it's like the reviews that show on your Apple Maps, like is that, enough to want to motivate somebody?
Yes.
To
I don't know who uses Apple Maps still, but yeah, absolutely. Other than my mother-in-law.
I don't know either, but I know this client has people that do apparently.
Yeah.
So we got to figure that out. What was I tried to sound all smart on the call, and I was like, we should look at the Barnaby method. What is it called?
Oh, the Barnacle?
The
like
Barnacle method. Yeah.
Yeah, like Barnacle SEO of
just like my thought was like, let's just get a shit ton of 5-star reviews to like push everything else down off the page. So it's not good.
Yeah.
Is that the Barnacle method?
Not really. But, but that's more of like a flood it with information, and
it's gonna be a patented. Call it the flood method.
Yeah, I mean, I would probably if I were talking to that client and it seems really painful.
Yeah.
I would want to look at one, are they spending ads or not? That's one thing. But even if they aren't spending ads,
they're not.
Making sure that they are communicating with their customer base and talking about Yelp, whether it's on sales material, like in your invoices and everything along those lines, in your email drips. Are you giving equal love? Not asking for a review, but like check us out on Yelp. You can do it organically without specifically asking for it.
Okay, good to know. So kind of veered off on that one, but just know your Google reviews should be safe now. So we're good. Okay, segueing into Yelp summary. So the Lead Hub team was just out in not so sunny California because y'all got rained on the whole time.
Yes.
But I do know y'all stayed at some bougie hotel, which nice for you guys.
Yeah, it was great.
And then we got honored with a participation trophy.
We did.
This guy right here.
Participation.
This guy right here. Little participation trophy. Last year we won some real hardware. So we're just gonna. So last time you guys will see this because we're gonna tuck this away.
No, it's gonna come right up here. We'll put it up here.
No. And I gave Ryan a lot of crap about it because he posted it out like in the front of our office, just like loud and proud. And I thought at first, I was like, oh, did we win something? And then I read closer and it's
a finalist.
Finalist. I mean, seriously, it's like you're
Participation
either a winner.
is real.
You're either a winner or a loser.
That's true. Well, we were like the first loser for which award was this for?
This was it doesn't even say.
Yeah, I think it was the innovation.
Gosh.
And we had worked on a Service Titan integration from the Yelp ads because I mean, look, I don't want to sound like a Yelp apologist, but I'll at least like
You
paint
sound
the case.
like one.
Thank you. I will be. But let me put my badge on from the Yelp conference.
Oh,
actually.
there you go. Is that why you brought it? Look at all those ribbons, dude.
So yeah, this was a
Talk
laughing,
about drinking. Hold that thing up.
Yep. This was
Jesus.
Yeah, this was a talking point, of course, because there are partners that have been there longer and everything. But I mean, this is exactly what Yelp is doing, and I've got a bigger conversation about it where I feel like Yelp is embracing the home service industry more now.
Yeah. Well, they see all the money in it.
They do, and they also see the agency partnerships as having value. And I think we've been seeing at the same time,
Yeah.
Google and Meta trying to, automate a lot of this stuff and hide a lot of the metrics that we aren't able to accurately tell our clients, this is why this is happening.
Right.
Yelp is already there, but Yelp is trying to clear it up, and they're making the effort where I don't see the effort happening in the other mediums.
Yeah, because the Yelp partnership is interesting in the event that they like incentivize, their partners. I mean, imagine if Google did that. That would be. They don't need to, obviously, but I mean, interesting if that model would ever take place.
Yeah, I mean, Google, they're adding an extra dollar per month. We'll talk about something else here in a bit.
Yeah.
But I think like with what Yelp is doing, they've stayed true to a few things. They want to protect the customer's information. Drives me nuts because I'd love to pull the customer's phone number in the API, give it to our clients. But they're making steps in that direction. I do think that it's got to be industry and geo specific. It doesn't work for everybody everywhere. They know that.
Oh yeah.
But Yelp is one of the biggest data aggregators out there for, like you mentioned, for Apple and the other platforms.
Yeah.
So when we talk about Apple Intelligence, like when you have AI in your smartphone, is Apple really, or is Microsoft really going to want to prioritize GBP? And so what's already out there that has headwinds, and it's going to be Yelp. And so from a partnership update, like we really appreciate Yelp taking us out there. They had breakout sessions for us to where we could talk to other agencies.
Yeah.
One of these things, they allowed me to be on a panel with 3 other CEOs of other agencies that Yelp is a part of their business. Not all of us is it a core part of our business,
Right.
but it's a tactic we use for some of our clients. I think it's about like a 25th of our revenue when you get down to what we actually profit off of it. But it's
1/25th.
1/25th. I did the math because they asked us in the panel, and a couple other people didn't want to say it, so I was like, I'm going to keep that on the lowdown until now. But I think there are tactics to be used across the channels of pulling what we're doing at Yelp and Google, but making it more channel agnostic.
Yeah. What were some of who were the other panelists you were there with?
Yeah, so Marcus from Viral,
Okay.
really like him.
Yeah.
He started off really growing this partnership program with Yelp.
Yeah.
So he spearheaded it, and now, unfortunately or fortunately, there are a lot more agency partners, and he's really done a great job of diversifying his business.
Yeah.
And then Dimitri, I can't remember, D3 or Q3 Media. D3.
Yeah.
I'd love to have him on the podcast here, and I'd like to have Marcus as well. He's so good on video. He likes to talk video all the time. He really pressed Yelp, and this is what's great. Like Yelp is not running away from questions because guys like Dimitri get up there and say, we used to have video on the platform. Where did it go? What's going on?
Yeah.
I need to talk to a software engineer. Software engineers up there on the stage saying, hey, we get that you want this. However, click-through rate was terrible, and it didn't actually bring new business. So
interesting.
At least they're willing to face that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Dimitri's great with a lot of the video that he does for his businesses. And
Okay. Very cool.
For me, honestly, like it was also really cool taking Ryan and Austin and getting some time with Austin.
Yeah.
We just moved him into a sales role, so
Big Jag, shout out.
Talking to him about just how to network, and some of us are not natural social creatures, so it was cool. And we got there, perfect, sunshiny, just 70 degrees. It was amazing. We decided to hang out and have some drinks and talk shop. And we said, we'll golf tomorrow, and we didn't get to golf. So hurts my heart.
Right. Well, that's cool. What else? Is there anything big on the radar for Yelp, specifically in the trades that, some folks should know about?
Yeah, I mean, they want to get more into integrations with CRMs, and so they're looking to get in there. The good and bad is like we've already built them, and there are a lot of agency partners that have already built them. So working around that is going to be interesting. I'd really like to, what's on our radar right now is building them into the pipeline in House Call Pro. We're not too far away from that. Are you getting bored with Yelp?
I am.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's move along.
Kelly, thank you for having us out. Can't wait to come next year.
Get us an extra ticket so I can go, please.
Yeah, we'll do our best to win next year, and then maybe I'll forfeit my ticket so Dennis can go.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
Next year. I don't know. After what you said, I don't know why they'd give you another ticket.
Hey, you said they're open to.
They are.
Yeah, that's what I'm here for.
They
man.
are.
They want to make it easy for them. So all in all, seems like a solid trip. And all jokes aside, Yelp has been a solid partner for us, and so we do appreciate them, and it has helped. Many of our clients, especially like on the West Coast and even in some other markets that are outliers where we didn't think it was going to work. But in any event, we'll continue to use Yelp.
Yeah, I mean, we've had some really good ones that like we've talked about, especially in California.
Oh yeah.
With 8x ROAS, 9x ROAS.
Yeah, crazy numbers. And just the sheer, not only that, just the sheer volume of leads that come in. And yet, one of the downsides to it still is like, for this particular client we're referencing, they're a window company, and so there was still some issues with getting, calls about like broken glass. Mm-hmm. It's going to happen. So, but I think over time, Yelp will learn and get it dialed in more. I hope. So, cool. Okay. Tell me about this diversity update for GBP. What's the word there?
This has nothing to do with Doge.
Okay, I was about to say, like, they let Elon like start touching GBPs now. Like,
yeah,
what's going on?
I mean,
no more pictures.
I have feelings
about
that.
No more Google posts.
So the diversity update, it's something Joy Hawkins, she might have been the first one that broke it, a local SEO expert. But basically, they are testing out your link in your Google business profile versus the homepage. And by diversity, they are trying to spread the visibility out. Google is also boring you. They're trying to spread out the visibility to where.
Wait, hold on. I still don't understand this. So the link that's on your Google business profile, mm-hmm. typically we put whatever link we want.
Mm-hmm. Typically we put our homepage.
Do we put the homepage, or do we have it linked to like the service area page?
Typically we do. Well, it depends on multi-location or single. Okay. So if we're doing like a single location foundation repair, yeah, we're going to the homepage, most authoritative page on the site.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. So that little button is what?
So let's talk about what we used to be able to say, and I still would love to say when we're prospecting and talking to clients. We want you to be in GLS, we want you to be in the ads, we want you to be in the map pack, and then organic. Mm-hmm. What they're trying to do, and this is the diversity of visibility. And so if you're ranking in the map pack, they are going to de-incentivize your site, or not de-platform, but devalue your organic listing.
Wow.
And so what they're trying to do is, well, if nobody clicked on you and you were in the map pack, why would they click on you in the organic? And so if it's your foundation repair company in Kerrville, Texas, we'll go with that, and let's say that your GBP links to your homepage, and let's say also historically your homepage ranks really, really well because you've done some very white hat backlink building that goes back to your homepage for foundation repair Kerrville. One of those two will stop ranking.
Wow. So are we saying like, okay, let's make sure that the link that's in your GBP is no longer your homepage?
We're saying
that you
test. So we're testing. We're saying do not do anything too quick.
Right.
Darren,
because if those links are the same, it's gonna know, and then it's gonna devalue it, right? Mm-hmm. But if this is like a link to, let's just say, contact page, and this stays my home page, then potentially I could be okay.
Yeah,
it's a different link.
Yeah, like a test, and this is something that Darren Shaw and the White Spark team had a really good Instagram post about as well. But if you have a foundation repair company in Kerrville and you rank number one, like we just mentioned, on both for foundation repair.
Right.
Let's say house leveling is something you also want to rank for. Mm-hmm. You may want to pivot your GBP link and put it to an internal house leveling page so that your organic page ranks for foundation repair, and then your map pack gets better visibility for house leveling. And so that's at least the hypothesis that is getting tested out now.
Wow, that's interesting.
But don't do anything too crazy yet. And even foundation repair and house leveling, I'm even like having word vomit that I mentioned those, because those are basically synonyms where you could rank for both of those. So
Yeah.
concrete raising, let's just say, or something along those lines.
Yeah, and that's like interesting because we just had a recent client, really challenge us about. So they're number one in the map pack, right? But then you go to the search engine results and they're like number three, in the blue links or whatever. And so, the rub there was that we weren't prioritizing trying to be one on there as well. But we're like, dude, you're number one in the map pack. But they're like, no, I want to be number one everywhere. Well, so do we. And so I wonder if there's any of that already going on.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely possible. What we were told, or what we were seeing initially, is that they're not even going to be on page one organically.
Whoa.
And so it's just going to like completely lift everything up. Which, who does that help? It doesn't help small businesses. That helps the data aggregators. That gives, the Reddits, the Yellow Pages,
The Home Depots.
Depot.
Yeah, that's terrible.
So how does it shake out? And this is still what I'm dealing with about like how quickly do we share things like this, because knee-jerk reactions can win, but they can also cause long-term harm. And that's why people like Joy Hawkins and Darren Shaw, who are people that I've got a lot of respect for breaking news, they always say something like, this is what we're seeing, we're testing it. It doesn't mean this is what we're seeing, now tell all your clients to do this, or now you should do all this.
Dang.
Like, it could just be a blip in the radar.
So I shouldn't have told our team to go change all the links. I just slacked everybody.
You did not.
Guys, stop.
No. Everything goes to request service
Hey, I'm
page.
a quick start.
Yeah, right.
Something. That's funny, dude. But that's a great point. I think, this is very early, so it'll be interesting. But kind of sad news if it does become true. It's like, because it'll be really interesting to see what happens then to those lower search results. So it's mostly the GBP and then the search engine results page links. Does it also affect like map pack or no?
Well, that's the map pack is the GBP, but as far as GLS and the ads, no.
Okay.
However, if you're a critic and a skeptic, like when does GLS and Google Ads and like all the profiles are connected, and
Right.
With Google trying to squeeze, and I gotta probably stop saying things like this, but with the AI arms race and Google trying to squeeze every penny out of advertisers. Okay, well now we've got 4 different spots that people can be visible on. We have, technically 2 ways to make money, but with the map pack you can have ads as well. They might only show 1 ad based on those 3.
Oh, I think our MCC account just got suspended. Jeez, they heard you.
my Google workspace just got pulled.
I know. They shut down Slack this week. It was a rough week, man. So, all right. Well, all that to say, we'll keep you posted and maybe talk about it in another podcast episode or put out some sort of video.
I also want to say, like, this is where it's really, really important, where as an agency, where we have, I think, 29 staffed here, our best interest is for our clients to win and take the lead.
Yeah.
However, taking shortcuts to get them there and jeopardizing their brand and their domain is not in our best interest.
No.
But just as we had an individual separate with us on a contract early and then got mad with the ads not being in the account or something along those lines. I don't remember everything, but an individual hired a 23-year-old that they met at a conference and could pay them a fraction. Cool, but just the risk and the reward situation is, okay, who cares about their brand versus like who's going to be more willing to jeopardize their, the individual's brand. And so based on where you're at as a business, if you're a startup and you're like, yeah, break stuff and let's figure it out, okay. But we're not at that point. We
Oh yeah.
want to make sure we're protecting and doing the right thing for our clients.
Yeah, 100%. So, okay, cool. So next on the list, more in the Google
More
world,
Google.
GLS charging for the booking calendar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What's going on there?
GLS updating, how users want to get booked, and so there's a lot of heat on some of the forums that I saw because I'm a lurker, long time lurker, no first time poster.
Same.
But like, I saw a lot of hate on it, but on GLS right now, it's been this way for a while. You can connect your Service Titan, your Go High Level, whatever,
Right.
booking calendar.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now if you have one of those in your GBP and you did not put it in your GLS, GLS is now using that link as a booking calendar and a scheduler, and then they will charge you for the lead when it gets scheduled.
Wow.
And so I don't necessarily see an issue with that because most of our clients are trying to free up their phone line anyway, and the whole point of getting a phone call or a direct message is to try to get a booked job.
Yeah.
I think the issue becomes if the booked job is not the right type of job, and if maybe you're in an industry where you don't want to pay for the booked appointments and you may need to do a little bit of qualifying. Like a good example could maybe be like a inspection for foundation repair where you may not want to run the inspection lead, but it got booked on your schedule. So I still think it's a good thing. I think maybe the lack of communication about it.
Yeah. So what do some of like our contractors and stuff have to know about it? Like, for instance, like they got the buttons currently on their GBP. Now it's going to show up on GLS. Like, do they need to figure out like, okay, where do those bookings go? What do CSRs need to know? Like, what are all like the next steps you think that need to happen there? Because I don't even know where those messages go, to be honest with you.
Yeah, so I mean, if you're on, and it depends by booking calendar, right? So if you're on Service Titan and you're using their booking widget, it's business as usual. Just handle it like you normally would, right? I think the clients that are not using their native CRM booking calendar are the ones that I'd be worried about, like Acuity scheduling. Any of those schedulers that might not tie directly into House Call Pro or whatever.
So the booking calendar button takes you to the calendar that's native to your CRM. Okay, so it's
or whatever's in your GBP.
Whatever's in your GBP. Well, what if like, okay, got you. Because I was thinking that there was like a button in the GBP already, but that GBP button is tied to the CRM, is what you're saying. Okay, cool.
Because you've got to add that integration into your GBP, and so you set it up where it goes to the booking page. And
Gotcha.
So, where I'm speaking that I'm not 100% sure, and this might be why there was some heat, is if they were just sending a click to a booking page and charging the same amount for a site visit. But I don't see that. Like, I would be pissed, of course, if instead of a call or a message, it's a click to my booking page and it's the same amount. I'd be pissed about that.
Yeah.
And we'll have to like record a follow-up if that's the case. But I didn't see that. But if it goes directly to a book job, most of our clients would say, heck yes, I'll take that all day.
Yeah. So I guess then maybe now contractors should probably revisit those booking windows they have and stuff, just to, because potentially like it could lead to a influx of more, stuff. And then should we encourage people to, move towards that on GLS to take up more share within the, kind of space they have, or what do you think?
I would. I mean, it's all about your business flow. Like, some business owners and managers, they want to make sure they have a conversation with the person before they get to book on their calendar.
Yeah.
I get that, but that's that funnel. It just depends on where you are in your business. If you need leads, which it seems like every single client in person in business is looking for until we get here in April.
Yeah.
They need them, and we're desperate for them. Okay, well, you might as well, but let's constantly evaluate your booking process. And I think that's what's important too, is if it's a set it and forget it, then you might be missing. And so I'd love to review your booking process as a manager or as an owner.
Yeah. Very interesting. Okay, I think I get it now. So, well, sneaky GLS. It's another way to get money. It's going to be, to your other point, like, what does that cost versus the actual?
Hmm.
I feel like it's probably going to be the same, no?
I think it will be. I think
Yeah,
if
so,
anything, what they would do is they would charge more for it if they were able to calculate that out because
because it's guaranteed they booked on your calendar.
hmm
Wow.
you still need to approve that booking in your CRM. But as far
Yeah,
as Google's concerned, we did what we were supposed to do. We booked a job.
yeah. And then do you think, man, because now this opens up a whole other can of worms in terms of disputing it,
Hmm.
right? Because, like, okay, they booked a job, but, for a window replacement company, like, they booked a job for a single pane replacement. It's like, we don't do that. But then Google's like, hey, well, it was booked.
Yeah, well, and with GLS, at least to my most recent memory, which was maybe Q3 of last year again, they removed the dispute process and they automated it.
I
At least
thought
for
it
the
came back.
did it?
I,
Okay.
I don't know. We could do totally wrong, guys. That's why we have a media buying team. But I think Albert told me that it's back.
I mean, it should be back. Absolutely.
Should we phone a friend?
Call Albert in.
Hey, sorry to bother you. Cool. All right. So next, just some industry news that we saw. I know I saw it on Facebook and I shared it with the rest of the team. But KickCharge and Levergy are now partners.
Hmm.
So I think KickCharge acquired Levergy. I think that's how it went. So, which is very interesting. I mean, KickCharge, obviously, very well respected creative agency in this space, and kudos to what they've been able to do for so many home service companies and helping elevate their branding in general. Because solid work by Dan and his team. I mean, very much have their own kind of style that you see across the board. And then Levergy, nothing but good things to say about them. Also, I was in New Orleans last year for Service Titans Marketing Summit, and Ryan was a speaker there and one of the hosts, and he was just a really nice guy to me. We went to dinner with a bunch of people, and he took care of us all, which was really nice. But I've also heard he's a really good guy in the trades too, and he helps a lot of companies out. I think pro bono too. So it's going to be an interesting partnership. What was your take on just the news and kind of two agencies of those caliber, I guess, getting
Yeah,
together?
makes sense. I mean, with the Blue Corona Rhino thing,
Mm.
it makes sense. And over the years, we acquired a lot of KickCharge branding to do the marketing for the
Yeah,
client, and so I mean, it seems like an opportunity. Uh, I don't really know much about the Levergy side.
yeah.
I think the most I know is you went to the Carousel Bar or something in New Orleans. Is that what you said you went to? Or
Well, we didn't go with them, but
uh,
we were at some little random spot. It was like one of the last
yeah.
things that was open that we could go eat at.
Yeah.
So
Either way, like
yeah,
I mean, definitely props to them. I think that we're gonna see this happen a lot more as well.
yeah. That was gonna be my next question. Like how we saw it in the NBA, where all these like super teams like formed.
Hmm.
And like I totally forgot about Rhino and Blue Corona and now Kick Charge and like Levergy. But it's going to be interesting to see because you see this in the trades, right? It's a common thing. It's like,
Hmm.
hey, I want to like grow my business. Let me go like tuck in 3 or 4 brands, right? And so it's like, what's the parallel? And then, the private equity opportunity, because I think we all know that Rhino was purchased by uh, private equity, and then Blue Corona was also part of the same that private equity group.
Hmm.
I forget what the name of the
I think
brands
Blue
are.
Corona, it was like E3 or something, or
Hmm.
Blue Corona got purchased first, then they got
Yeah,
Rhino or something along those lines.
yeah,
Yeah.
and now they're boom together, and then now we're seeing because I even think Tommy Mello owns stake in KickCharge. I believe. I think
Okay.
he helped Dan in some ways. I believe. I could be totally wrong. Let me know in the comments if I am.
Hmm.
But so going to be interesting to see if there's more because in our space and maybe we're just like in this little bubble, but I think there's probably 5 or 6 other ones out there that are kind of like in the same consideration set. Like the
Hmm.
one SEO is the hook, Lead Hub, obviously, Rival Digital. Shout out to Eric Thomas and everything he's been doing there. Scorpion, obviously, but I think they're already backed by private equity, and who wants to be on their team?
Yeah.
Sorry. So it's gonna be interesting if this is like a new trend.
Yeah, I mean, and what we see and what we've seen, of course, with our clients that get acquired or that they acquire.
Yeah.
Typically, the seller doesn't stay on. It's for a reason. The seller wants to go, and trust me, some of us agency owners are very difficult to work with, some more than others, and so it's the personality thing. If you've got the Phil Jackson that can make it work, I think obviously I have no information about the back conversations that they're having, but seems like a very fun and cool move, and just hope the best for them. There's more than enough business for us all, except for maybe that big one you mentioned.
Yeah. Well, I'm intrigued by it, and I didn't think too much deeper into it until now when we start talking about it, and like what might that like signal for the future of like our industry. It's like, is there less, just more powerful agencies? Because I come from a little bit different background in terms of agency experience, where I worked at larger regional shops, but through that I was exposed to like the larger like holding companies, right? So you have like a Publicis group who owns like Razorfish, and then they own like X agency and Y agency, and then before you know it, you got Publicis group who's got like 30 agencies tucked under, right? That can do they do digital, they do creative, whatever, and it would be really intriguing to see a holding agency specific to the trades that just has all that, and all they do is focus on the trades. That could be a dominant force.
Yeah.
Because you're right, there's enough clients to go around, everywhere.
Yeah.
So
what I do hope is that we see more of what we've been calling bro equity, of people that have done it, gotten out of a non-compete, and they're in it to acquire others and have that team and I'm speaking specifically like on the trade side. We've got clients that are taking a second bite and trying to run it again, but teaming up and basically keeping it for 10 years, not looking to flip it in the next 2 to 3, and wanting to build another community.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, very good. What else you got, man?
Finally playing golf on Sunday.
Yeah, me too. I'm playing on Saturday.
All right.
So, what's your handicap currently at?
I don't know. I'm killing it right now as far as in the bays. So I think I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna shoot a 91 at Landa. I'll just call that.
I'm playing almost, and I'm gonna shoot a 98.
Let's go.
So hoping for a good day. But I love almost. Usually I play pretty decent out there.
Yeah.
I've never broke 90, but tomorrow could be my day. So we'll see. Yeah, we'll update you guys next week on the pod. So cool. Yeah. All right, y'all. Well, thank you for watching another episode of Talk of the Trades. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment. Mom, thanks for always watching. I love you. And we'll catch you next time.
All right. Later, y'all.